So we have to talk about RFK Jr., okay? RFK Jr. is polling pretty well as a third-party candidate, okay? But something tells me he's not going to be doing so hot for very much longer, okay? Specifically because of two different things. One, it seems as if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. grilled and ate a dog. And in case you're like, well, that might not be the case. It might not. Where's your evidence for this? It couldn't, he might have eaten any kind of grilled animal. So I'm going to preface this. I'm about to show you the evidence. If you don't want to see it, maybe like go, tab away for a minute, okay? But this is coming according to new reporting by Vanity Fair. This Vanity Fair article, by the way, I would consider it, if I was part of RFK Jr.'s campaign, to be like damning. Like, oh, your candidate is done type of reporting. And now, folks, here is a picture purportedly of RFK Jr. with a grilled dog. Apparently, I don't know. I haven't confirmed that, but that has been going around on social media. Yeah. So that's, I don't know, man. Americans get real freaked out about eating dogs. This is damning, man. I guess RFK Jr. told Christy Noem, hold my beer, okay? Oh, wait, RFK Jr. took his family on the Lolita Express? Are you kidding me? Or wait, were you making a joke? I can't tell. Are you sure you can show this? I'm pretty sure I can. Like, if I showed like a roasted boar, I think Twitch would be okay with it. Why are all of the candidates just like the worst people in the world? Well, okay, you say that, but here's RFK Jr.'s response to being asked about whether or not he barbecued a dog.
This Vanity Fair story, I want to give you an opportunity to address it. That has a picture of you holding up what looks like a carcass of a dog and pretending to take a bite out of it. Getting a lot of attention. So I want to ask you if you want to explain that photo. Is that a cheap fake? Is that a real photo? What was going on there?
Now, that is a real photo. It's of me at a campfire in Patagonia on the Fuleifu River eating a goat, which is what we eat down there. Vanity Fair said that they talked to veterinarians who assured them that it was a dog. That they had meta-analysis that showed that it was in Korea and that it was in Korea of me eating a dog, and that statement is emblematic of the entire article, of the lack of sort of journalistic standards throughout that article.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what his voice sounds like. Yeah.
I'm glad we gave you the opportunity to address that. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Oh, okay, so they okay. Whew, man. Man, that was a close one. It was almost like RFK Jr. did something really horrific. It's almost like RFK Jr. did like some kind of crime. And I'm really glad he was able to clarify that. He did not, in fact, eat a dog. will he be able to do the same about the sexual assault allegations that Vanity Fair reported about him forcing himself on the 23-year-old babysitter? Because that is what they are reporting, and that came out earlier today. Let's just take a look here. What did they say? In the fall of 1998, the Kennedys hired a 23-year-old woman, Eliza Cooney, as their part-time babysitter. She was a recent college graduate, interested in working on environmental causes, and looked after Carrie's and Max's children in Hyannis Port that summer. Cooney moved into Bobby and Mary's family home in Mount Kisco, New York, taking care of the kids and assisting Bobby at his environmental law clinic at Pace University during the week. One night, Cooney attended a meeting in the family kitchen with Kennedy and another young riverkeeper volunteer named Murray Fisher to discuss business when she felt Kennedy's hand moving up and down her leg under the table. She tried making sense of the incident in her diary, which I have read. In an entry dated November 7th, 1998, she wrote, "From everything everybody says about the Kennedys and their babysitters, they had me worried. Like, I have to watch out, be careful. And the other night in the kitchen with Murray, I could have sworn he was touching my leg and hand. Seemed like he thought I was somebody else or wasn't paying attention. Like he would come to every once in a while and snap out of it, or I would move away. It was like he was on something or really tired or was missing Mary or was testing me. In the back of my mind, I was hoping it wasn't what it actually was," says Cooney, now 48. Reached for comment, Fisher says he worked closely with Cooney and liked her, but wasn't aware of her alleged experiences with Kennedy at the time and feels bad for her. Weeks later, she discovered Kennedy standing in her bedroom. She saw that her diary, which chronicled her daily activities and detailed her romantic life with her boyfriend, was open next to her bed. And she was shocked when a shirtless Kennedy, then 45, asked her to rub lotion on his back. "I thought, isn't Mary home?" she recalls. "Doesn't she do this for you?" She did it reluctantly and quickly. It was totally inappropriate, she says, adding that she stopped recording these experiences in her journal, fearing Kennedy would read them. A few months later, Cooney says she was rifling through the kitchen pantry for lunch after a yoga class, still in her sports bra and leggings, when Kennedy came up behind her, blocked her inside the room, and began groping her, putting his hands on her hips and sliding them up along her ribcage and breasts. "My back was to the door of the pantry and he came up behind me," she says, describing the alleged sexual assault. "I was frozen, shocked." He was interrupted by a worker who entered the kitchen. To announce his presence, the man, according to Cooney, said something like, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do," or "Don't do anything you wouldn't want your wife to know about." Cooney stayed on the job for a few more months but says the experience damaged her confidence, obviously, and diverted her from environmental work. Also, obviously, you would not want to do anything that might remotely put you on a collision path with that man. At the end of her diary, Cooney wrote a list of things to leave behind in 1999, with "bad men" at the top. Cooney kept these secrets until the Me Too movement began in 2017, when she first told her mother, Holly. "Was I horrified? Of course. Was I surprised? Not really. And not because of the Kennedy name, as much as knowing what the culture was, especially in the world of privilege," Holly Cooney told me. "I remember when we talked about it the first time, she was agonizing over how public she felt she was ready to go. In the spring of 2023, after Kennedy announced he was running against Joe Biden for the Democratic nomination, she told two close friends and a lawyer, Elizabeth Geddes, who had prosecuted the rapper R. Kelly. Geddes suggested Cooney could still bring a civil suit against Kennedy under the Adult Survivors Act, but Cooney ultimately decided against it. His candidacy for president impelled her to share her story publicly now." So, just as an FYI, my opinion, far be it from me, yeah, sue that motherfucker. Take him for every dime, okay? What a disgusting abuse of power. Now, let's see. Maybe Vanity Fair said something absolutely ridiculous about that dog story. How might Kennedy respond to being questioned on this one? I wonder, what do you got to say, Ken? What do you got to say, RFK Jr.? What do you got to say?
I am not a church boy. I am not running like that. I said I had a very, very rambunctious youth. I said in my announcement speech that I have so many skeletons in my closet that if they could all vote, I could run for king of the world. Mm-hmm. So, this Vanity Fair is recycling 30-year-old stories, and I'm not, going to comment on the details of any of them, but I am who I am.
You're talking there about the nanny situation. I mean, I do have to ask her. I mean, are you denying it or not?
I'm not going to comment on it.
All right. Well,
I mean, if you are asked about Vanity Fair's reporting on this, and you talk about the rambunctiousness of your youth, you just admitted to it, man. Also, Chris Huggins, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. What kind of self-incriminating dipshittery? Yeah, at that point, why bother not commenting? You've already commented. You've already said, "Oh man, the rambunctiousness of my youth when I was 45 years old." What? When people talk about the rambunctiousness of youth, they're talking about like being a teenager. God, man. Some people really are trying to make this guy like the more progressive alternative, and it's just like on literally everything he's worse. Like, he's worse on Israel than Joe Biden, which is a low fucking bar, okay? He's literally worse on Israel than Joe. He's also, like, essentially here, a self-avowed, like, sexual assaulter. I mean, his response was basically like, oh man, if you guys really knew what I was up to, like, what are you doing, man? You're already admitting to sexual assault. How much worse are we talking here? He's so gross. He's so gross. Did he have throat cancer or something? I think something like that. Yeah. There's so much to actually criticize him on. Like, I feel like making fun of his voice is like a low blow. God. Please tell me this is about RFK and not Biden. It's about RFK. I've been in those situations, unfortunately. You feel that you have nowhere to go. Going to the police, they re-victimize you and nothing gets done. You have to prove you've been violated. Imagine Texas rape victims impregnated have to go to court to terminate parental rights. Yeah, but the issue is like a civil case has a different burden of proof than a criminal one. So when that lawyer tells her like she has a case, it's in civil court, which has a different burden of proof. This is truly a dog-eat-dog election cycle. Yeah, I mean, RFK Jr. is such a bad person that just retroactively I'm going to say he ate a dog.